All right, YouTube and Facebook, it's Dominic Izzo again, and I'm going to answer some of your questions today. So I'll be the first to attack my own community. If any of you guys used to listen to my radio show, Cop Talk, I'm the first to attack, lazy police officers, out of shape police officers. I think it's just embarrassing how we have a certain standard that we got to meet when we take this job, and then that standard is no longer required. So you can come in and, get fat and lazy and, or laws. I mean, how many cops? One of my worst things I can't stand is when you go on YouTube and you see these cops and they pull somebody over and the guy's going, "Am I being detained? Am I being detained?" And the cop doesn't have enough confidence in himself to go, "Yes, you are. This is a traffic stop. You're being seized." Education, all that stuff. So I'll be the first to attack my own community. But a lot of you guys are now asking me about the relationship between you and us. And I've said it before, Sir Robert Peel's 9 Principles of Policing, the police are the public and the public are the police. There's one thing that you can do to help us all, and you're going to hate the answer. All right, but I'm going to do my best to explain it really briefly, okay? And if I get long-winded, I apologize. Okay, here it is. Ready? Comply. Dear God, public, please comply, and I'll explain why, okay? This is why compliance is so necessary and it's so out the window, and this is what causes all these problems. If you're a smart, educated person, all you do is you flip on the news and you see a 30-second videotape of cops using excessive force, and you are intelligent to understand that there's way more to that 30 seconds and things happen. The definition of resisting: if you tense your arm up when I'm trying to handcuff you, you are resisting, okay? The problem is we do not have a public problem. We don't have a police problem. We have a parenting problem. Back in the 90s, I think that my generation kind of screwed this up to where when my generation started having kids, we really didn't want to be as strict on our kids. Now I don't have any. We didn't want to be as strict on our kids as our parents were, so these things called participation awards mysteriously showed up. Everybody got to play. No, there were no tryouts anymore, and that was definitely in sports. Coaches were not allowed to swear at kids when they wound up, doing sports. Teachers couldn't discipline anymore. You couldn't go to a restaurant without disciplining your child and somebody sticking their nose in your business and them calling the police on you and then you getting arrested. The synergistic effect of what happens is now you have a bunch of people who are in their late teens and early 20s, and they have no sense of responsibility to authority. They didn't have to listen to their parents. And this is not really the parents' fault to a degree. But if you take a circumstance like the restaurant issue, you're in a restaurant and your kid acts up and you give your kid a little bit of a disciplinary crack and some table sticks their nose in your business and you get arrested, you will never do that again. And then your kid is going to get away with murder. And your kid goes to school, doesn't listen to the teachers. Or worse, teacher decides to discipline. You're not having any of that, so then you get the teacher fired because you associate that with what happened when you went to school and you defend your little kid and all of their bad actions. Go through life. Now your bosses, you got a kid who gets a job and they don't want to work at the job, so they mouth off to the boss, or they don't have any work ethic. Then they get to us, the ultimate authoritarians, who are really only middlemen. We do nothing but, we keep the peace and maintain order in a free society. We are law enforcers. We don't make the laws, and we're not the judges who are handing out the punishment for the laws. You really don't hate us. You hate what we represent, which is holding your behavior and actions and addressing those. You do some behavior, you do some actions, and we document that. You can't stand us for that. You blame us. If the judge hands down a sentence, you're still blaming us. The lawmakers do something, you're still blaming us. We don't have a black problem and a white problem. If you really look, the one thing about the statistics that you see online that I really wish they would show is all these criminal activities. Oh, you see all these officers who are racially profiling. I really want to know what the statistics are if you boil it down to about what the specific age of all these people that the police are so quote-unquote harassing, what their gender is, and then if they come from fatherless homes, because it's broken homes, and it's males. It's not a white problem, Hispanic problem, Asian problem, black problem. It's males. And it's teen males. You have these over-the-top testosterone teen males with no guidance, who have no discipline, and this is the result from today of what we're seeing, why we have a problem with the public and the police. When I talk about compliance, the one thing that you really have to understand is 99.9% of the time on a scene when the police show up, I don't mean to sound bad, but the police will win the situation. Okay? The easiest thing that will solve everyone's problem is compliance. Even if we are 100% in the wrong and we still do whatnot, you can sue the living pants off of us. Go to court. Sue. Take our pension, take our homes, take our dogs, take everything you can. Do it the right way. But when people send me these videos and said, oh my gosh, I see 2 cops who are trying to arrest a young man, and he's saying I can't breathe, and he's on all fours. You know, I watched those videos, like the one that just got put up, and those cops didn't use enough force. The man was clearly resisting. It takes 2, 3, sometimes 4 officers to control one suspect. And for those of you who have kids, think about your toddler or your 5-year-old throwing a tantrum and you trying to control them by yourselves. It's not that easy, people. Musculature locks up, skeletal structure locks up. It's very difficult to actually, really control without a certain use of force. So, I know I'm going off on a long-winded rant, but you really have to look at the problem. The problem is simply parenting and compliance. You didn't teach your kids how to comply to your rules, and that trickled down to what we have going on. So when you ask me, what can we do to build a better society on your end, to build the police? Dear God, please comply. If we pull you over for a speeding ticket or speeding, we issue you a ticket, you don't hate us. You hate the fact that somewhere along the road, down the road of your life, you got so used to not answering for responsibility at all until you ran into us, and we are the ultimate street authoritarians and responsibility holders. Please comply. It will solve 99.9% of all the problems out there, and you do have course of actions that you can take against us if you feel that's necessary. Okay? I've never been to a roll call where we say target a certain gender of people, target a certain race of people. There's no such things as quotas. It just doesn't exist. We're not out there for our health. We're out there for you, but you have to help us, okay? So once again, comply, and you will see how smooth everything goes, all right? I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth, all right? And you will hold us accountable too. I'll see you in the next video.